Hey guys, today I wanted to do a video on the topic of faith. This is something that's been really running through my mind quite a bit, and I think it's pressing right now as everything that's going on in the world just continues to ramp up. Now, the reason I wanted to make this video now is that I see a lot of fear in a lot of people. They're afraid of disease, they're afraid of war, they're afraid of not having enough money. All these things are just getting worse and worse. And the reason faith is so important is because faith and fear cannot coexist. If you have real faith, there is no room for fear. If you are afraid, it is because you do not have true faith, or rather what you have faith in is not capable of aiding you in your struggle. Now, 2020 pulled the curtain back on a lot of things. It showed us kind of who people really are. And I'm not just talking about bureaucrats and the media and all, the corporations. Yeah, we already knew who they were, but it even showed us stuff in our personal lives. I believe it pulled the curtain back on a lot of these things, and we're sort of just dealing with the aftermath. Now, these last 2 years, people have been pulled and moved by some very powerful forces, and those forces are still at work. Many of these forces masquerade as noble when in fact they are anything but. They preach equality while elevating one group of people over another. They preach tolerance while refusing to tolerate alternative viewpoints. They talk of public health while doing things that actually make people less healthy. What are the fruits of the last 2 years? What has all these efforts brought forth? And is it good or is it evil? Now, a lot of people want to pretend evil doesn't exist. Good is a preference for things we like, and things we call evil are just things we don't like. And I used to think the same thing, but last year really changed my mind. I have heard evil described as using one's virtue to harm them. So let's think about that a little bit. Evil, somebody who say, robs a liquor store isn't necessarily evil. They're just doing something to get their fix. They need money, they need alcohol, whatever. I wouldn't necessarily call them evil, nor would I call a soldier who's fighting in a war evil. Maybe they're acting immorally, but I wouldn't actually classify those individuals as evil. Evil is using somebody's own virtue to harm them. Finding somebody who is trustworthy, who is naturally trusting of other people, and then using that trust to get in a position where you could then harm them. That is evil. And that is what I have seen going on these past 2 years. Last year showed me religion in a new light. I hadn't been religious for the past 10, 15 years. I don't know, I might have called myself spiritual, but I wouldn't have considered myself religious. However, last year, with everything going on, and seemingly nothing made sense, until I started to look at it from a religious point of view. And I started seeing that there was a new religion springing up. Rather than inspiring peace, love, compassion, and taking responsibility for one's shortcomings, it preached vitriol, hate, violence, and blaming others for your problems. I started to see that humans cannot help but become religious. A religion is simply a particular system of faith and worship. As humans, we are pretty much hardwired to worship and to have things that we put our faith in. It's an evolutionary mechanism that's actually gotten us this far. So religion is not just, faith isn't just your beliefs, but it's also what you give your attention to. And it's very important that people see it this way, for I know many non-religious people who were completely taken in by the narrative of the last 2 years. They would claim to be atheist or agnostic, while still they had this system of beliefs that was governing the way they lived. They had talismans that they would wear in order to protect them. You can call it science if you want. The bottom line is they had no anchor. They had no anchor, and they were easily swept out to sea. They put their faith in all the wrong people, and they have suffered for it. If I didn't have faith in God, I'd be terrified right now. I'd be completely overwhelmed, not only things in my personal life, but also the implications of what is coming on a global scale. And the reason for this is I, by myself, am nobody. I'm a deeply fallen individual with many shortcomings. The things that I am trying to do are far greater than what I can do on my own. But because I have faith, there is a deep-seated belief that whatever I need will be provided. And this is not just financial, although I have seen it manifest in that way, but it has to do with every aspect of our lives. This can also be seen in terms of personal growth. You may be given a certain experience. It may be hard. You may be suffering, but that process of suffering is for a purpose. And it can be meaningless. You can look at it as meaningless suffering, or you can look at it as an opportunity to grow. Now, we don't always get what we want, but we will get what we need. When you orient yourself towards the Most High, you start to say, thy will be done. Not my will, thy will. And there's a power that comes with that. There's a power that says, I give it up to you, Lord. I can't do this. I can't carry this weight anymore. My life is a mess. I've been trying to impose my will upon the world rather than sitting back and listening, saying, what should I do? Please guide me. Show me the way. That sort of humility, if you take that approach, I promise you, doors will open. And you will see things happen and manifest before your eyes that you could have never imagined. If you truly believe that you have the creator of the universe at your back, what is there to be afraid of? What is there to be intimidated by? There is no room for fear of failure because you literally have the most powerful force in all creation, the source of all creation, at your back. That might sound primitive to some people, but I promise you, when you start to actually put these things into action, you will see that faith is indeed a superpower. And that when you really do orientate yourself towards the Most High and you give up your will and you come at it with a viewpoint of serving, everything changes. Faith and fear cannot coexist. So if you're feeling afraid right now, dig down deep and try to find some faith. Put your faith in the right things. Put your faith in Jesus Christ. Don't put your faith in Dr. Fauci. Don't put your faith in these bureaucrats. They don't care about you. Put your faith in the Most High and ask to be guided. Now, I want to thank everybody for watching. If this video has resonated with you, great. Leave a comment down below, and even better, please share it with somebody else who it might resonate with. We need to get a conversation going around this subject. We need to start looking at things this way. This is what's going to guide us through what's coming. There will be many people led astray over these next few years. There already have been many people led astray. And my hope is that they will come to see what they have put their faith in is empty. It provides nothing for them. Only more fear, only more vitriol, only more pain and suffering. We cannot avoid suffering. Suffering, pain is here for our growth. But we can choose how to suffer. And we can choose what we put our faith in. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. Take care.